Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my theory tuition series where we're working step by step through the ABRSM theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. You can download those in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. You'll also find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can access information about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to best make use of the time on exam day when you're working through your exam paper. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be fab, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. And now we're going to have a look together at the final paper in this 2015 booklet of grade 3 papers. So if you turn with me to page 13, and we'll have a look at paper S. This was a paper that was never actually set as an exam. This is just a specimen paper that's given to you as an extra in this booklet. And although from 2018 onwards the format of the paper has changed, all of these booklets of past papers from previous years are still excellent revision help. So I suggest that you just work your way through lots of past papers in good preparation for your exam, even though the format has changed a little bit, and we'll look at how that affects these papers as we go along. And so I hope you've had a go of this on your own. First of all, it's always better to try. It doesn't matter if you go wrong, you can just rub it out, and now we'll check through these answers together. So question 1 asks us to add the time signature to each of these 5 melodies. So we're going to have 5 separate time signatures here. So let's have a look at question 1. Now the first bar probably gives us the answer most easily here. And we can see that we've got 1 crotchet beat here, 2, 3 crotchet beats. So our time signature will be 3/4. Although mathematically 6/8 would fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and again this bar shows that easily, that wouldn't be correct because 6/8 is compound time and that would have to be grouped in threes. And so as that's not the case, we can see we grouped in crotchet beats here, and so it must be 3/4. That's the only acceptable answer. There we go. So if by all means, if we want to check through the maths in the other bars, there's 1.5 beats there. There's the other half beat, that's beat 2, and then combined all of these give us a beat, and we can see that we group in crotchet beats. We've got a half plus a quarter, which is 3/4, and then 2/8 here gives us another quarter. We've got a half and a half, that gives us 1. We've got 1 here, we've got a half here and 2/4 here. And again, if maths isn't your strong point, this bit here can get a bit confusing. So I always visualise a beat, divide it into quarters to begin with. So we've got a half a beat here. So that's half of a beat gone. We've got a half of a half, which is a quarter. And then here we've got 2/8, which we can see have completed that beat. So that's just another way of helping yourself out. So let's move on to the next one. Now the next one, I think this bar here is perhaps the most obvious, and just even at a guess you can think that perhaps we're counting in minim beats or half notes. So we'll start off with thinking that we're in minim beats or half notes, and we've got 1 minim beat here, 2, 3, and then these 2 together gives another, so that's 4/2. And that's our time signature there. By all means, check that out in the other bars. We've got 1 minim beat here. And then we've got a crochet's worth here in the dot, plus another crochet worth here, which gives us another. So you can see we've got 1 there, we've got 1 there. Those 4 quavers give us a minim, so 4/8 notes give us a half note. 2 crochets give us a half note, so you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So by all means just check it through every other bar. Here, let's move on to this next one. So I think at a quick glance this last bar gives us the answer most easily, and we can see we've got 1 crochet beat here and then 2 halves here gives us another crotchet beat, so that's going to be 2/4. Let's check that through elsewhere. 3/4 and 1/4 gives us 1. 2 halves gives us another 1. Don't forget the rest, so we can see 1, 2. 1 beat, 2 halves gives us another 1 beat, and then don't get confused by the triplet. That just means 3 in the time of 2. So we've got a half and 2/4 worth of maths, and there's our 1, 2 crochet beats. Let's look at the next one. So this is the bar that gives us the answer most easily, and you can see we're grouped in 3, so we know we're in compound time, and we can see that we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quaver beats, and so that confirms that's 6, 8. You wouldn't put that as 3, 4 because we're in compound time, which is in groups of 3, and like we saw there, 3, 4 is simple time, which is in groups of 2. We counted in crochet beats here, 1 crochet beat, 2 crochet beats, 3 crochet beats. Here we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 quaver beats grouped in 2 groups of 3. By all means check that through elsewhere. We've got 1 quaver beat here, 1/8 note. That divides into 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's our 4th. Those 2 semis give us another quaver, 2 16ths give us an 1/8 note, 5, 6. Let's check this one. 1, 2, 3 quaver beats, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Let's look at this last one. And so what's perhaps the easiest bar here? This one here tells us straight away we're counting in 1, 2, we're counting in crochet beats. We can see we're in simple time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4/4. Alternatively, you could perhaps think 1, 2/2. That would work just the same. So I guess you could also say common time, or you could say the ABRSM, the split common time there as well. Any one of those will do. I'll stick to 4, 4 for this, but any one of those will do. Let's double check another bar. We've got 1 beat here. Now in these rests, we've got half a beat, 1/4 and 1/4. All of those will give us a beat. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3/4 and 1/4 gives us 1. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So that's that question completed. So this next question of completing a 4-bar rhythm is no longer part of the newly revised exam, so there's no need for us to do that. The rest of the paper is of perfect validity in terms of revision. This one you could have a go at just as an example in filling the correct number of beats per bar and grouping the notes correctly. You could try that in your music theory and practice workbook as well. However, there's no need to address this for the exam, so we're just going to skip ahead to the next question. So let's turn over the page. So page 14, we've got some scales. Now I always think this is the easy part of the paper. If you write down your major and minor keys on a piece of scrap paper before you start your exam, and then you've done all your thinking in one go, and then you can just refer to that without having to keep re-scratching your brain and thinking what's going on. So we've got all the clues here to help us as well. So let's see what we've got to do. We need to name the key. And then if it's minor, we need to state which sort of minor it is, whether it's harmonic or melodic. Now the first clue is just getting the starting note. So in the treble clef, this is a D. We're beginning and ending on a D, so we know it's got to be D something. And so now we've got 2 clues. We've got an F sharp and a C sharp, and we know that D major has a key signature of F sharps and C sharp, so everything's nicely explained there as D major. Let's have a look at this next one. So then here, we're in the bass clef, we're beginning and ending on an A, so we know that it's A something. Now then, if it was A major, we know that A major has a key signature of 3 sharps. That's obviously not the case, so it can't be A major. We've only got 1 sharp here. And so now we need to think about which minor scale it is. And if you notice, if we're descending, this is 8, 7, 6. This is the 7th note which has been raised, and we know that that occurs in the harmonic minor form. So A harmonic minor. So it's just reading the clues. So let's look at this one now. In the treble clef, it begins and ends on a G. We know that it's G something. Now G major has F sharps, but it only has F sharps, so that can't explain this here. So now we know that it's G minor. So now we need to decide which sort of the minor scale it is. Now, the harmonic minor has the raised seventh, so it could be the harmonic minor. Let's just think about the melodic minor though. The melodic minor has the raised sixth and seventh going upwards. Now G minor is related to B flat major, which should have B flats and E flats. There's no E flat here, and the only way we can explain that missing E flat is to think that it's been cancelled out and raised by a natural, and so therefore we can see we've raised the sixth and the seventh just by the absence of a flat. That tells us we've raised the sixth and the seventh, and so that must be the melodic minor form. If you remember, the melodic minor has the raised sixth and seventh ascending, and then it comes down just with the key signature as it would have been of the related key as it descends. So then here we go, last one. We're beginning and ending on an E flat. We're in the bass clef. Now E flat major has a key signature of B flats, E flats, A flats. We've got B flats, we've got E flats, and we've got A flats. So that's everything nicely explained to us as E flat major. So it's just taking things a step at a time and working through the clues. A little bit more work to do here with key signatures. So again, if you've already done your thinking and you've got everything sketched out on a piece of paper, you already know these, or let's just have a look. So B flat major should have a key signature of B flats and E flats. We're in the treble clef, so we want to do that. So that's the first part, right, the key signature. Now we've got to write the tonic triads, and so of course B flat major, the tonic must be B flat. The key signature takes care of that, and so we want the first, the third and the fifth. So once you've got the tonic, line, 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 first, third, fifth. So C minor is related to E flat major, which has B flats, E flats and A flats. We're in the bass clef, so just place those carefully. And then of course our tonic is C, bass clef, and then first, third, fifth. E major has a key signature of 4 sharps, F sharps, C sharps, G sharps, D sharps, and then we need the tonic E. I'm going to place it down here so I don't have to bother with ledger lines. First, third, fifth, E, G, B. There we go. Of course it's G sharp. Your key signature deals with that. So B minor is related to D major, which has a key signature of 2 sharps, F sharps and C sharps. So we need our tonic, which is a B, and then first, third, fifth, and then A flat major has a key signature of 4 flats. We're in the treble clef, so B flats, E flats, A flats, D flats, and then we need an A, first, third, fifth. So it's just having a good working knowledge of your key signatures, and you might as well just write them down at the beginning of the exam and you've done all of your thinking, and then I think it's just a matter of watching out for your clefs. So that's the end of that question. We'll look at the next question in the next video. I do hope that this is helpful to you. If you can give me a like, that would be super. Please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. I hope you're enjoying this. I certainly am. Please do go to sharonbale.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.